Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna step away from the golf cart for a day or two and work on my daughter's 2010 Dodge Caliber. It has a lightning bolt that keeps popping up on the dash, which if you look it up, it relates to the throttle body or the throttle control system, I guess. Everything I can find, everybody just says to change the throttle body, but this car does not go into limp mode. It comes on and kind of hesitates here and there, but it only comes on when it's cold. Once the motor warms up, it goes away. And actually, right now, it's not even on. But the throttle body is $300. I really hate to just swap it out and it not work. But we are going to clean the throttle body. We're going to clean, because it could technically be the gas pedal. It could be the throttle control sensor. So we're going to go through and we're going to clean all the connections. It is the SXT. It is a 2.0 liter, I do believe. Yes, has a 2.0 liter in it. They also come with like a 2.2 or 2.4, I believe. This one has a 2.0 liter in it. It has 160, 170, 100, I don't know. It's got a ton of miles on it. Oh, has 195,000 miles. She put some seafoam in it to help clean it out, and she drove it from pretty much Indianapolis to up north here, about 2.5 hours away. But as you can see the lightning bolt there, that's what pops up. It doesn't flash, it'll just come on sometimes, and when it does come on, it runs a little rough, but not really that bad. And normally, you see, as you see, it just went out. Honestly, since we put the seafoam in it, it hasn't come back on. The check engine light is actually, it's actually for something to do with the temperature. Either it's, don't get Pacific, it literally code the diagram that comes up literally says it's either not getting hot enough or it's getting too hot, but the temperature gauge seems fine. Seems to be running where it should. Heat works, everything's working the way it should. But she did say that the light just come on not too long ago. So we'll check the antifreeze, we'll check everything out. But we are gonna clean out the throttle body. I got some throttle body cleaner. I got some electroid cleaner. And we're going to go through and we'll clean everything. So if you would, please like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, smash the bell, and stick around. We'll get into it. All right, so first things first, we're going to get down to the throttle body. We're going to see what it looks like. We're going to have to take the battery out. I don't know if I have to take the airbox out. We're definitely going to have to take that off the thing. So let me get this out and go from there. Okay, so that was the hardest part. You can do it without taking the radiator hoses off. Just gotta get a little creative. Get off here. Oh, come on now. You can see, oh, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is nasty. Okay, well, we might find our corporate. So let's look at the new throttle body. It's always a good idea to look at the new part and see. Hold on. Okay. It's like 4, maybe 6 bolts. Always try to look at the new part and try to determine, how many bolts you have that you're looking for. 1, 2. And it looks like 4. We're going to try 4. We're going to hope for 4. You got a plug down there. So it's going to be really hard to show you guys this, but I believe it's a 10 millimeter. I'll verify that. But I'm going to pull this off. It should just be 4 bolts, and this thing should just fall right off. So we'll be right back. Alright, so I got my daughter out here. She's going to turn the key on. I'm just really curious to see if this flap opens.
Are you ready?
Hold on a second. This thing is absolutely disgusting. Go for it. You got the key on?
Yeah.
Oh. Hold on. Does anybody notice an issue here? Electronical throttle body? Probably needs a battery. Okay, here I just realized that I lost audio. Not sure, I think my mic died. But I am explaining how electronical throttle body works. It is a drive-by-wire, which means when you hit the pedal, the computer tells the throttle body when to open, how much to open. I'm explaining this to my daughter and you guys. I'm also showing how nasty this side is with the oil consumption. It's got almost 200,000 miles, so it's probably sticking and not working as it properly should. And over here on the bench, I'm still explaining to it, showing you kind of what it looks on the outside and the inside. Obviously, the inside is a little worse than the outside. This is the side that the air goes in and then comes through that way. It's pretty gross. This is probably why the light was coming on. So we checked it. We made sure it looks identical. Now we're going back to the car. Here I'm trying to show you guys what it looks like on the inside. There is a lot of oil and moisture consumption in there. And I'm explaining that we need to get in there and get it cleaned out. Now here I have some throttle body and air intake cleaner that you don't want to just spray directly into the car. I'm kind of looking at the directions, reading the directions, and explaining to you guys this is my recommendation of what to use. So yeah, I like this throttle body cleaner. And now we are going to go over to the car, and here in a second you will see I will take a rag and wipe it out. You want to make sure you use a not lint rag, something that's not going to put a bunch of lint and stuff in there. These throttle bodies are very sensitive, especially the electronical ones, because the computer is what's telling it to do all the work. I noticed there's some antifreeze down there on the block. Not really sure where it's coming from. And here I've got my daughter actually cleaning out inside of the engine where the throttle body goes. Kind of teaching her on what to do. She wanted to learn. She likes to work on her own things. She likes to learn. So here I've got her. She's in there wiping it out. So you spray the throttle body cleaner on a rag, get in there, wipe it all out, get all the oil and the soot and everything on it. I also realized it didn't come with a new gasket. So I showed her that it's a rubber gasket, so we took it off, cleaned it up real well, put a little bit of lube on it, and I had her put it back in there. And here I am showing on how to reinstall the new throttle body. And it's kind of showing you here, you need to make sure that the two sides are clean that are going to go together. You just need to kind of finesse it down in there. Got a couple of radiator hoses to go through. Get it on there. There's not really much to it. It's a rubber gasket that is held in place by the engine itself. So you just need to get it on there. I always start one bolt. Let's see here. Right now I'm just trying to get it stuck on there. I'm trying to get one bolt in it. That's it. You're in a kind of an awkward position, but it's really not that bad. If you can remove a couple bolts, you can actually change this yourself. Right now my arms, I'm just trying to get the light to where I can kind of see what I'm doing. I want to make sure I don't knock the gasket out of its little mechanism that's holding it in place. Not really sure what I'm doing here. I think I'm probably explaining this to my daughter too. Now with one hand I'm going to hold it. The other hand I'm going to, whatever is the easiest bolt to get to out of the four, I'm going to start with that one. And I always recommend hand starting them. Don't start it with any type of device. Gives you a better chance of not stripping it out. So I'm actually using my extension and just the socket, and I'm just going to get it started so it holds it in place. Now we've got one of them in there. I'm just kind of double checking, making sure that it's not going to fall off. I don't want this to fall back off, hit the floor, break. You know, it's a $300 part, so making sure we're a little careful here. Just kind of double checking, making sure it's in the right position. Making sure I got it on the right way. You always want to make sure it's in the same direction you took it off. It's squared, so you can actually put that on upside down by accident. And then here, I'm explaining to my daughter that we're going to use a little bit of anti-seize to put on these bolts. Just in case we ever have to take it back off, that it's not locked up. You can see that the bolts were a little bit rusty on the outside. So I'm kind of explaining to her on how anti-seize works, and you know, you don't need a bunch of it, just enough to kind of work itself into the threads. And then we are going to go back over here and we're going to put the 3 bolts in. Then after you get the other 3 bolts in, I will take the bolt out that we already put in and then put anti-seize on it and stick it back in. So right here, she's trying to start them by hand. She's doing a pretty good job. She got one of them in. Camera is focusing on the wrong thing at the moment. There we go. Now I'm using a little hand driver just to get the bolts started. Like I said, I'm trying to teach her not to strip the bolts out, or cross thread them, I should say. Man, that thing's pretty. It's clean. I always love putting new parts on cars. Right there, I'm just kind of explaining what I just told you. It's pretty simple. And you put the 4 bolts in, snug them up pretty. All right, so we got the throttle body back on. It's tightened down, gaskets in it. Next step is putting the air intake tube back on. Right here, it's just this. Just goes from the air box to the throttle body. Just a couple of hose clamps. I'll probably wipe it out a little bit. You have your mass airflow or MAF. I don't know which one it's got on it. I don't know if it's got MAP sensor mass, whatever. But you gotta be very, 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 and another very careful with this little sensor in here. It's very sensitive. Do not spray brake cleaner on it. They make an actual mass airflow sensor cleaner. Even then, I'd still be hesitant. I will not ever tell anybody to clean one of these. But we're gonna put this on there, and then all we gotta do is put the battery back in it, and it's all done. Throttle body. Sorry, it's getting late. I've been out here tinkering around a lot. I get sidetracked a lot. So yeah, we got this on there, and stay tuned. All right, now the tricky part is gonna getting this back on the throttle body. Remember, your sensor goes at the top up here. Make sure everything is loose. We're actually gonna spray a little bit of spray silicone on it. Okay, here I lost audio again. So what I'm doing is I'm wiping the dirt out of it, trying to get as clean as possible. And then I'm explaining that I'm gonna put some silicone on it just to make it slide over the two sides a little better. But you do not want to just spray the silicone in there, because you do not want to get it on that sensor. And that is what I'm explaining here, that I'm not actually going to spray it on the tube or in the tube, because I don't want any excess on it either for when the car starts. I don't suck it through it. So what I am going to do is wipe it out, make sure all the dirt and dust and stuff's on it with the dry, clean towel, as you can see here. And I'm still wiping it out, making sure that it's nice and clean. You got it off, so you might as well make sure everything is clean as possible. It is a hard rubber, so they can be a little tricky to get back on. This one wasn't too bad. So I sprayed some silicone on the rag, wiped it on in there just to slicken it up a little bit, popped it on the one side, then I wiped it on the other side and popped it back on. Go in there, tighten your two hose clamps back up. I'm making sure that it is all the way on, that the hose clamps are in a proper position to be able to tighten them up. And then here, I'm putting the battery box back in. There's just a couple little bolts. Put that back on. Man, I'm moving fast. Now I'm putting the battery back in it. And now we got the battery reconnected. Everything's put back together. Now we're probably going to have to relearn the car. There's a little process you do. It's not that hard. I'm guessing, I haven't turned it on yet, so I'm guessing as soon as we turn it on, with the battery being disconnected, replacing the throttle body, disassembling the accelerator or unhooking it, we're probably going to have to go through a relearn process. So yeah, see what happens when we turn. Well, nothing happened. It started right up. We're gonna crack the garage door, let it run for a few minutes, and I'll get back with you if anything comes on. Alright, well, the car's been running for about 15 minutes. You can see it's up to temperature. The lightning bolt has not come back on yet. The check engine light has been on for a long time. 200,000 miles. It's just some heating thing that says it could be like 25 different things. So it just says the code that pops up says it is either not hot enough or it's too hot. Take that for what you will. So but I guess we'll find out over time if it fixed it. Normally it would come on with the car cold. After a couple minutes it'd pop on and it'd stay on. It didn't flash, it didn't do anything goofy, it just, the light come on, ran a little bit crappy, but it wasn't quite in limp mode. It's still all over me here. I mean, she drove it pretty much almost from Indianapolis to well, Albin, Indiana, so a little over 100 miles, and with the light on the whole time, so it never went in limp mode. It just acts up, sitting still. But you've seen how bad the throttle body was, so that was a video of replacing the throttle body, I guess. So if you would, please like, subscribe, hit the bell. Subscribing really helps me out. We're almost to 200 subscribers, so if you guys could hit the subscribe button, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.